Well, here we are today at Larford Lakes. We've come today to do a paste feature. Carl Williams, affectionately known to many as Melonhead, has been challenged me to a paste off. So we've come here, we've sat up on the Spessy Lake on peg 16 and peg 18. We've got our gear set up. And I know Carl's really up for this, so I'm really looking forward to it. We've got two different styles of fishing paste today, so it's going to be interesting to see which one comes up on top. I personally can't wait, and I think Carl's buzzing for this.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this for quite a few months, and with a busy schedule we've only just managed to fit it in, which coincidentally works out perfect time of year, hoping them big old munters are willing to have a chew.
Yeah, good. Well, may the best man win. I know we got the customary pound on it.
Yes, it's all shined up for you ready.
Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go off now and we're going to show you our different approaches, the different baits, the way we mix the paste, etc. And then we're going to get onto our seat boxes and we're going to get the match underway. We'll see you in a minute. So here we are now, and I'm going to just show you how I mix my paste up, and then Carl's going to show you how he mixes his. My paste consists of a 50-50 mix of Swim Stim Green and Ringer's Pure Ground Crust Expander, and it's just a simple mix for me. I just use the same size pot. In goes one. I use two. An equal mix really, so it's two of green, Swim Stim Green, 2 of the Crust Expander, so that gives me 4 pots in there now. I just simply mix that up, give it a good mix up there, and then basically it's 6 pots to that, so it's a fairly lot of, it takes a lot of water. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just a bit more there, and there's your 6. And then I just simply mix it up, and that's going to be very wet for now. I'll leave it for 10 minutes, and when you come back then it should be perfect. It's very wet, as you can see at the moment, but that will stiffen up and it'll be just right for the day. That's my mix. That's the paste I'm going to be using on the day. With the paste, in conjunction with that, I'm going to be feeding different to Carl. I feed hemp and corn on one line, and on another line I also feed pellets, 6mm pellets. I flick some 6mm pellets of, fish the paste in between it, and then I'm big potting in hemp and corn, which is a more positive line. Somewhere through the day one of them will show me which is going to be the best. And that's it from me. I'm going to hand you over to Carl now, who's going to show you how he mixes his approach to his paste fishing, which, like I said, is totally different to mine.
Right, yeah, hello. Well, basically, like Glyn said, my paste is slightly different to his. Today I've decided to use meat. One reason being it's allowed, not every venue you can use it, so when I can ever use it, I always will. Plus, the stamp of the fish dictates what type of paste I like to use. Yeah. So here's just basically, that's my feed. I always feed corn. Simple reason, in my own head, I think feeding micros, pellets, I think they waft about, brings them up in the water, and I get too many foul lookers, which is the last thing you need with bloody great big fish. So basically all I do, I just get some luncheon meat like this, just basic quite thin, and just push it through the middle. I just keep pushing it through. It is very tedious and very hard work, and can be quite sore on your thumbs, but now after like 2 or 3 years doing this, my thumbs have been quite accustomed to doing it. I say this does take a long time to do, but I say the benefits, in my opinion, I think far outweigh the hassle of it, having to do it. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but you know, if you want results, I'm afraid you have to put the hard work in, whether it be sore fingers or not. There are other ways to do it. I've heard of people like putting it through machines and stuff. you know, which sounds ever so good. I know other anglers use like a little handheld mincer thing, which can also be good. So basically, you just keep carrying on doing like that, and what you end up with, I know it's not a lot to see, but you end up with your meat paste like that, and you just mould it around like that, or you can even just take a little bit of water, put it to it, and make it to the consistency like what you like that. Like I say, it's a very tedious method, but it far outweighs. And there you are. And in good old-fashioned Blue Peter style, for the benefit of cameras, because we haven't got all day to do this. This is one I made earlier, and as you can see, the texture is a lot more smoother, because what I will do eventually, I would put that through a riddle again to get the texture just how I want it. But on some days when it's really warm and I want the paste to break down a lot quicker, I will actually use it like that, so it actually breaks up really quick, especially in the margins, and they just home on it. Yeah. Today's like today, where it's a bit colder. I'm not in and out of the water so often, so I want the paste to stay on my hook a little bit finer, so I doubled. Yeah. Well, just put it for the riddle twice, and obviously that'll stay on my hook a bit longer, which means I'm not feeding as much and overkilling my peg.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see which is going to come out on top today, the meat approach, or like I said, my standard mix. And as you can see with mine now, just in that short time we've been here and the amount of water I've put in there, that paste is almost perfect for me. So we're going to go away now, go onto our pegs, get ready. Barry's going to blow the whistle, and we're going to start. So hopefully we'll come back later with a net full of fish for you.
Is that your finished?
That is my finished.
It's about, yeah, it's like about our fish. That's nice. Very, very nice.
So I'm going to quickly talk you through my simple setup for today. Like I said, it is just a paste off. We are only fishing paste today. What I would normally do in a match situation is I would have over the emp and corn line, I would set maybe another rig up to fish the corn, and over my pellet line maybe a rig to fish a banded pellet. But for this feature today, it is only paste, so I'll just quickly talk you through my rigs. Quite a simple setup. The float itself, I use quite an heavy float, so I'm fishing a 0.8 FP900 float. These are the new grey version we got. They're bulletproof, very, very strong, in line. I'm fishing, my line is 022 straight through. I go down then to a simple Olivet, which is situated probably 2 foot from the hook, and then the hook is a 1624 size 12, and that is it. There's nothing simpler than that, and obviously a paste pot as well, probably 2 foot from the tip as well. And that's my main line, which is my 6 meter line, which is the one I'm going to probably concentrate on for most of the day. I've also set an edge rig up as well. The edge rig, again, it's 022 straight through. I'm fishing this time on an FO2 float, not a conventional paste float, but it is quite shallow down there. As you can see, I've only got probably 18 inches, so I've just got a little strung out bulk down to a size 12, 1624 again. A nice simple setup, and hopefully it's going to bring me a few fish. Come back later and we'll see how we get on.
Hi. Yeah, just wanted to run you through my rigs. The floats I'm using are identical to the one the old gaffer's using over there. The slightly difference is, where he's using a 0.8, I prefer to use, I'm using a 0.2. Same line, 022, right down to a 1624 hook, but the only difference is I've just got one number 8 stop, and that's just basically just to stable it up for me in the water a bit. That is my should be my main line today, which is 5 meters. I've also got, for an extra section further out, a heavier rig. This is a 0.4, same line again, same hook, but with 3 number 8 stops on it this time. This is obviously in case it picks up any tow and the tow starts pulling the bait under. This one I'll change to this. although it's slightly deeper, I've marked up so I can actually use it on the short line as well. And my final rig, which is one down the side, which is also the FP 900 0.2. I've just trimmed the float down a bit on that, just trimmed the stem down a bit. And I always use a rubber, just a personal confidence thing. Also, one number 8 stop and a 16-24 size 12 hook. All nice and simple, and just, yeah, hope you get some fish on it today.
All in!
So we're about 20 minutes in now. I've had 2 fish for about £22. One was about £10. One was about 10. I just lost one now. I think it was foul hooked, but I'm not sure. But there are a couple of fish. This is on my pellet line. I've big potted over to my right for the hemp line, which is a more positive line, which I'm hoping will hold the fish, and I'm hoping I can get a few more fish there later, to be honest. The bites, like I said, I've been quite surprised. I've had 2 bites straight away. I had one actually first drop, which was a nice fish. And it's been quite good. A nice breeze on top of the water, which makes a hell of a difference here at Larford, to be fair. And nice positive bites as well. A lot of people, when they fish the pace, they're striking at anything. These fish in Larford, they're big fish when they come in on the pace line. What I tend to do is I'll wait for a thump, and that's the best way I can describe it, really. Sometimes they hit it that hard that you can actually feel it, you know, feel it pull up the pole. But if the float goes under, I don't just strike if it just pulls under slowly, because I just think the fish are just tail wafting. I wait for a thump, a proper whack on the float. That was a little nibble then where they're nibbling at it, but when they have it properly, it'll whack under. So there is something there at the moment. Hopefully it'll be another carp. We'll just wait and see. Yeah, there's something definitely down there having a little nibble on it. I think my old mate Carl's had, how many you had, Carl? 1 or 2? Carl's had 2 fish now as well, so we're on 2 each. He snuck one in just now without telling anyone. He started off very short, Carl, and then he's gone back out onto the 6 metre line. It was another little bonk then. Now that's just pulling under. Now that's a fish, but it's not quite having it properly. When they have the bite properly, that'll whack. So I don't rush the bite. I don't really strike until the thing gives me a proper thump. Otherwise you end up with foul hookers and all sorts. Again, that's just pulling under. It's not proper bites. The bite will be a proper whack, and hopefully you'll see one in a minute, and then you'll see the difference. And that's what I wait for, to be fair. But I think we're going to have a good day. Like I said, we're only 20 minutes in. I've had 2 fish. Carl's had 2 fish. It'll only get stronger as the day goes on, to be honest. So I'm really looking forward to the rest of the day. If they come over on my hemp line, I should do a big weight. And especially if they come down my edge. So I've got a fantastic edge here on peg 18. I've got some a little bit of shrubbery, if you like, down on my right hand side, which is where I'm going to fish to. Try and keep the fish away from Carl. Another little dink then. It can be a really frustrating game, this pace fishing, sometimes, because you're getting little dinks and thumps and little bites on there, and the float's doing all sorts. But like I said, when the big boys come in, you cannot miss the bite. Fishing with a new Precision 6E pole as well. Can't tell you how pleased I am with this. I mean, the FXT Precision is a fantastic pole, but this goes one step further again. Mega stiff, mega strong, just awesome. What I really like about the 6E pole, my mate's in again. Now he's got me worried. What I do like about this 6E pole is the fact that they got markers right the way up until the number 4 section, which is fantastic for me when my pace fishing. Like I said, a lot of my pace fishing is done on the 6 metre line. So I've got markers all the way up, which is important when I feed. And I'll show you why a little bit later. But I actually use the markers to line up with how far from the tip my pace pot is from where I pot in, and then I pull the pole back, pull the float back over the top. Then I think this is a skimmer. Nope, maybe not. Nope, definitely not. Funny bite though, because I had to wait ages for that. But I knew there was something down there. You could see it moving and messing about. I don't think this is a big fish. No. Smallish fish for the Frenzee Lake standards. I actually think it's fouled. Nope, it's in the mouth. Just not a big fish. There we are. A very small fish by Frenzee Lake standards. I actually refer to these as plankton, to be fair. I'll just quickly show you it, but a beautiful little fish. Lovely little mirror. Awesome. Having a great day. And I'm looking up and it looks like my my old mate's got a proper munter on. What an angler. Don't you get losing at the net now, mind? Nah, you take your time now. I've seen him come off by there, mind. Hi. Look how tight he's got an elastic. Carl Williams, you're an animal. Yeah. Double figure fish for Carl. It's turning into a really good day. Like I said, we're not even half hour in and we've got 3 fish each. Yeah, you don't want to be owning up to that. Now I'm not happy there. I've gone out, I've potted in and my float hasn't settled properly. I need the float to go down. If my pace is on, it gives me the confidence that that float goes down a little bit further than that. That's still sitting on the shoulder. I'm not convinced it's in there. I don't like it when it's like that, to be honest. I'll leave it another minute. If not, I'll come back in and go back out again. A lot of people just leave it in. And that's fair enough, but I just haven't got the confidence behind it like that, so I'd rather just bring it in, get back out, so that I know where I am with it. No, not happy. Going to come back in. What I'm going to do a minute now is I'm going to put this and I'm going to go big pot some hemp and corn in. I'm looking probably today to actually feed maybe 6 pints of hemp, 4 tins of corn on the positive line. The fish, when they come in there, are going to be looking for food. And what I do on that line is I do spread the bait a little bit, because my paste is a target bait, so I don't just put it in really tight. I slightly spread it a little bit on that line, and I keep it a little bit tighter on my pellet line, to be fair. But my old mate up there's got me worried. I honestly thought that they haven't been actually having the meat up here, so I didn't want to tell him. too much. But they haven't been having the meat, and he's gone out there on his meat, and he's had 3 on it. So I could be in a bit of trouble here, I think. What I do with my paste as well is when I put it on, and that's just a personal thing again, I do just tap the bottom of it like that, nice and flat, so it just sits on the bottom and just holds there. Just a personal thing, that's all. But a lot of people fluff it up. Some make it into a pyramid shape. Like I said, it's all about confidence and how you feel about fishing that particular bait. That's what makes the sport great, is everyone's got their own opinions. And everyone fishes to their own abilities and their own ways. And that's settled a little bit better there. The shoulder's gone down. It's not down, that's better. That's settled nice there now. As you can probably see by that now, I don't know whether you can see that, but that float is actually settled now, and it's down the bristle a little bit. So that tells me my pace is definitely still on and definitely on the bottom. I have had the odd occasion on your mind where I've gone in, fed the paste, and the floats just kept going, where they've just sucked it straight in on the way down. So that's on a very rare occasion, but that's a nice one when it does happen for you. I'm getting excited already thinking about later over that hemp line, because if it's anything like last week, then the hemp line was where the fish, it was absolutely solid. Every time I dropped it in, I had a proper thump, a proper bite, and I had some massive fish last week. I was actually sat on the peg where Carl is today, on 16, and my mate Rob was sat on 18. We both had big fish. I think Rob in one net had 4 fish for 68 pounds, so that tells you the size, and all averaging 17 pounders. I haven't had quite that size today, but 2 of them have been decent. The other one was about £6, I expect. But obviously if I can get another bite, so it's just a bit of paste, 4 or 5 bits of corn on the top, maybe a bit more, 6 or 7. Nice firm connection on the joints. Nothing's to be rushed, you're just nice and steady. You're rushing, you end up going over top of the float, and you end up in and out, and not getting anywhere, just wasting time. And in a match situation, time is critical. I've not big potted anything today so far. I've only fed per fish, which is what I'm aiming to do, because I just don't think at the moment they're lined up, and I don't, obviously the less competition for bait the better. So
I'm just potting in and waiting for fish. Occasionally I might chuck two or three over top, but what I am doing is, my main aim is to try and catch on top 2 and 2, where it's about a foot shorter, so there's less chance of line bites, and obviously the fish will be more confident because they're coming in closer, so the bites will be better. So I keep feeding this all day, and with it being a section closer in, where my elastic's coming out of my top kit on the side puller, it gives me good reference where to chuck 3 or 4 pieces of corn. Just, you know, every now and then, and the same down the edge. I just keep chucking in, not a lot, just 3 or 4 pieces, regular intervals. Hopefully, because I think the noise is vitally important. I think they come to the noise. But yeah, so far so good. My old pal Glyn, when we joined Frenzee, because we're both self-convicted, or say convicted, self-professed paste heads, and we said, oh, it'd be a great idea to have a bit of a paste off, because we fish it in totally different ways, and both with good results. So yeah, here we are eventually, and there's a lovely little bite, little dink, and then under. So just nice and steady, back to my top kit as soon as I can, like that. And I just point the pole at the fish, and as you can see, it's swimming into me. I ain't pulling nothing, as it like that. I just pull the top kit, just point the fish. Although it doesn't look like I've elastic out, that's because it's not pulling. And when I get it to an area like that, I can just feed it. If it wants to go, I've got elastic to let it go. When I can feel it's ready, I can just lift it up, and hopefully and this one ain't ready. I just put the pole down again and just let it come towards me. There's no pressure, there's very, very little. Look at that slack line there if I wanted to. And there we are, look, it's on about 8 or 9 pound. This elastic is really, really good. It's nice and forgiving and powers up when you want it to. There we go, so not pulling its head off. And there we go, in the old onion bag. Another one about 8 pound. So it doesn't take many of these to amass a bit of a weight. So that's one net full already. So that's probably given me about 70 odd pound now, and just been fishing 50 minutes. So it looks like we're on for a red letter day, because I can only see it getting better. Come on, get out. It's that big, it don't want to come out. There we go. So repeat the process all over again. While I've got the thing out ready, I'll just get a few bits of more corn, 2 little chucks down the edge, and yeah, so I'll hand you over to my old mate Glyn now. He seems to be getting a few, and I'll catch up with you later on.
Well, we're a bit into the match now, and I think me and Carl are pretty close. I think we've both got about £90 each. I've been priming this line up with hemp, so this is my first put in over the top of it just to have a look, see if they're in there yet. I'm still getting bites, to be fair, over on the pellet line, but I want to just have a quick look in here and see if there's anything here, because when they come over the hemp they normally come over it nice and strong and stay there. So we'll have a quick look on you, 10 minutes, and see if there's anything there. Not happy. I think you need to shallow the float up a touch. It's just not quite cocking properly how I like it, so I'll leave it there for a couple of minutes and I'll bring it back in then, and I'll just take a little bit off the depth, not much, just an inch. I've also been feeding down my edge there, and I can see some little indications. There's some blowing in there, a few bubbles, but I haven't seen any swirling in there yet. But hopefully they'll come in there for the last hour with a bit of luck. I know last week when we fished the match here, Rob, who was on this peg, he got him strong down the edge. Foul looked a few, but they were down there strong. I'm just looking up now and I can see my old mate is into another fish, which is going to take him ahead of me. But it's been close. We're fish for fish. I think I've got 9, and I think that's Carl's 10th fish now. So we've had a great day. Not massive fish either by Larford standards. I think Carl's had a couple of sort of bigger ones. I've had maybe 10s and £10 and £12, which are still good fish. I'm not complaining, but last week I had some proper munters, some sort of 18, 19, 20 pounders. But this pole today has been absolutely awesome. I know I'm only fishing at a short length, but it's an absolute joy to use. No, not happy with that. Oops, foul up one. So there were fish there then. Got a feeling that was a skimmer then. I'm just going to take a tiny little bit of depth off that. Not much, probably an inch. See, the encouraging part for me then, there was a fish down there, albeit it might have been a big skimmer, but there was definitely something down there over the top of that hemp, so that's good. I'm not actually going to feed any more hemp at the moment because I've been big potting in there, and what I normally do is go in, try to get a bite on it. As soon as I get a bite, I'll put another big pot in, and then I'll sit over the top of that then. I don't like trickling bait in with my paste. Not on the hemp line anyway. I find this better when you big pot it. Have you landed that one yet? What? What bush? Well, just push it back in. What we found today while we've been fishing, what we've been finding today while we've been fishing is when there's ripple actually on the water and over your line, then you've got bites. There's something on there now, little bite. No, it's a bit too hasty with that. So we've been, well, like I say, when it's been calm like this, it's been difficult to get bites. The bites have become a little bit finicky, but when the ripples moved over and come over onto us, then the bites have been a lot more positive and easier to hit. I just think they feel a bit more confident with that ripple over the top of their heads. I'll have another go on this now. I guess I had a little bite on there, then I was a little bit hasty then, to be fair. I haven't had a bite on that line. So, like I said, all I do is when I'm shipping out is I ship out to my marker, which is the number 5 on here, and then I ship back. As soon as I come back, then I know that where my paste pot is takes me back to the number 2 marker here, and I just pull back that way. Then my float is right above my paste and it's not going to pull out. I'm not entirely happy at the moment because my float isn't cocking to where it should be, so I got something a bit wrong here. I'll go back out in a minute and replumb. I've just plumbed it again, but obviously something's not quite right, because there's enough paste on there to float that down to where it needs to go. It's funny because today my negative line, you know, my pellet line, where I've just been trickling pellets and I haven't fed much at all, has been really, you know, has been my strongest line. And yet over here where I've been potting, well, last week this line was the strongest, so I'm hoping this will get stronger as it goes on, but I'm not getting. Last week I'd have just dropped this over now, I'd have had a bite by now. And like I said, I had some real big fish over the hemp last week. I can hear my mate up there now landing that one. Crocodile. Yeah, big old fish. Big old meat fish. No, I can't fish like that. It's got to be right. I'm not happy. I'll go back in and plumb. Something not quite right there. There's my marker, my number 2. And that's the reason why I'm too deep. Unbelievable. I plumbed that earlier, so I don't know what's gone on there. It's been having a blonde moment, I think. Right, we'll try that. What I do with my paste as well is, earlier on I showed you I put a lot of water in that paste. That paste was like slush, but now it has stiffened up a lot, so I've always got a little jug of water here, and I just keep putting it in, and I can get my paste to the consistency that I think it needs. Sometimes I'll make it really, really soft. Other times, if the wind picks up and I think I need to hold it back a little bit, I'll stiffen it up a little bit. So that was it, out to the number marker 5 then, and then back to number 2. Hopefully now that'll cock. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. I now know that's right on the bottom nicely. I'm not too bothered whether I have a loads of float showing, because I can see the bite. Like I said, the bites are a big knock. So even if the float's level with the top of the water, it doesn't make a lot of difference. I can see the bite even under the water. I can see the float go. So even if there are some little indentations, if you like, on the bottom, and my paste sits in there, I don't worry about it, as long as I can see that float. Like I said, the bites are quite vicious when they hit it. Little nibble on there then. Not convinced at this stage though that these fish have come over the top of my emp. Obviously I'm not getting bites on it. I'm not confident they're there yet. When they do come over it, the bites are pretty instant, to be fair. I think my old mate Carl's about 10 pound in front of me now, maybe 12. That last fish, whatever that last fish weighed, I think he's in front of me. What was our last fish, Carl? Yeah, 16 pounder. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut sometimes, see? I got blowing out by my float as well now. I can see a few bubbles coming up around there, so they're the fish definitely there. It's just weaning them onto this paste. Sometimes if we weren't fishing just an out and out paste match now, I would have gone over the top of that now, maybe with a corn rig, and had a little look and seen if they wanted the corn instead. 'Cause sometimes that happens over the amp when I'm feeding the corn. But for the purposes of the day, we said we was going to have a paste off, and a paste off we're having, so that's the only bait we're allowed to put on the hook. Not that I'm disappointed about that, mind, but because I love fishing the paste. I need that ripple to come back, that's what I want. I'll persevere with this now for the next sort of 5 or 6 minutes though, and see if I can get one over it. If not, I'll go back over my pallet line and then come back on this later. Feed my edge as well, because I've got a good edge peg here, so hopefully they'll come over that with an hour or so to go, and I'll catch a few down there.
Right, as from earlier on, things are going pretty steady. The catch rate has dropped quite substantially really since the wind has gone and the ripple. It's now flat calm, and we're really struggling for bites, both me and Glyn. Glyn says this is quite a regular occurrence on this lake, and it's obviously been proved to be right. We're getting odd signs, but nothing really great. Oh, there's a little sign and I missed it. Oh, a big bow wave. But with that being that sort of time now, I think even with the wind not as good as it was, they'll be coming in looking for some food, so I don't think it'll make too much difference in an half hour or so, an hour. But it is very noticeable how much difference it actually made. Weight wise, I'm doing okay. Got about 106 pound. which is really pleased with so far, with the golden hour to come. So there don't seem to be a great deal in it. Both me and Glyn are catching in spells, so I think we're both pretty much on an even keel. I've just been out and put a little bit more bait on with another pot. I do that sometimes. Sometimes I'll, if I feel there's a few fish here and I want to make them feed more aggressively, I'll put 2 toss pots on, the big Frenzee ones. One with the paste in, and one with me corn in. And when they're there, you know, it just keeps a nice constant stream of bait going in, because one of these big carp, 15-pounders, can eat a tin of corn in seconds. So I don't think you can really overfeed them, especially in the summer months. A bit different now, so you've got to be steady, work your way into it. But so just missed a bite there a minute ago, a big bow wave. And I'm going to give this line another couple of puts in. If I don't get a sign, then I'm going to come back in on my shorter line, which is a section closer in. I've been feeding it nice and steady all day, just 2 or 3 pieces of corn. Although it's only a section closer in and a foot difference in depth, it can be all the difference, because if they want to be sat in that water, you know, where they feel most happy, then obviously your catch rate will improve. I've also constantly just been throwing 2 or 3 bits of corn like that down my margin. Been doing that non-stop since the start of the match, and I'm expecting to see a swirl. As soon as I see a swirl, I will stop throwing the corn, go down with a double pot so I can nail them on my deck. The last thing I want to do is be throwing corn on top of their heads, and if they've been all over the place and foul looking them. With these big fish, you know, we're going up to 25 pound or so in this lake, and they're quite commonly, you know, even the greatest tackle wouldn't stand up to that, being foul looked. So it's what you're trying to avoid at all costs, really. So attacked by wasps and midges today, bleeding things. Oh, that's a nice little bite out of the blue. I see the governor's got one on as well. He's a sly old dog, he is. Keeps wheeling them in. So as you can see, just playing it, let the elastic do the work. This one's tearing off. I have to put the section back on this one. Oh, it's going to go. There it goes. And that has snapped me, I reckon. Oh yes. Cheers, Glyn. That one must have been foul looked. So snapped above the hook, just above it. So I best put another rig on. Bugger. Oh, well done, Glyn. I can see you smashing it. Is that another one?
So we're just coming into the last hour now, and I've just come back over on my hemp line. I lost the fish on it just now, foul hooked. I'm not over on it properly and confidently, to be fair, but I'm sure there's a few fish there. I'm just hoping they're going to have a go. It's been difficult. The wind's been everywhere today, and when it's been calm in front of us, we've really struggled to get bites. But when there's been ripple on the water, then the fish have fed confidently. So it's been a really funny day today. But we'll still keep plugging away here. Carl's probably, I don't know, I think Carl's probably 30 pound in front of me now. So I need a really good last hour to have any chance. I've been feeding up my edges. I've not seen a fish up there yet. They'll show themselves. It's pretty shallow there. I've only got probably 18 inches up my edge against the foliage there, so we'll see what happens in a minute. But I will have to go up there and see if there's anything lurking there in a minute. Like I say, I'm really struggling to get bites. I was quite confident, to be fair, that I thought my peg was going to get stronger and stronger, but it has actually died on me a bit. We'll keep plugging away. I can hear Carl down there chucking bait in on the inside, so he normally has quite a strong finish, so I think I'm up against it a bit, yeah. It's been an interesting day though, enjoyable. Had to really work for your bites today. But no indications, no little, I'm not having any little dinks, I'm having nothing at the moment. See a bubble up coming up out there around on the hemp line, so there's fish down there, but I don't know what it is, whether they're skimmers or roach or whether it is carp. I've just put my paste on now and I've actually squeezed it into the hemp as well, so we've got some hemp mixed in with the paste just to see if that makes a difference, but it hasn't at the moment. Anyway, that is an indication. Oh, I missed it. Oh my god. Wait all that time, get a bite and then miss it. Wow. I'll go back in again. I'm going to put some more hemp in there now. So that's all I do is take the paste, just dip it in with the hemp, wrap it around the hook. It can make a difference. And when I'm looking up, I can see my old mate Carl's into another one, so I am right up against it now. Is that down your edge, Carl? He's probably telling me the 5 metre line, it probably was down his edge, but he couldn't lie straight in bed, him. Yeah, one of them 18 pound 4 pounders. Yeah, that sounds like a 4 pounder. Yep, I'm right up against it now. I need some fish. Just got to hope they come over this top of this hemp. They haven't yet. Wouldn't do to it. One of those days. One of my days.
Just landed another, getting on 10-15 pound. Yeah, so that's a good start. That was still on my long line, 6 metres. Yeah, 6. So what I'm hoping for now is that we're just coming into the last hour. I did see a swirl earlier, so I'm still hoping that, you know, it'll be they'll come down there and we can catch short, and that's when you can sort of like put a really big weight together. Not seeing no more signs, so I'm just going to keep persevering. Keep persevering. I'll put another pot on now. Now I think there's a few fish there. I'm going to put another pot on. And I'm going to fill it with corn. And I'm hoping... Oh, I've got a bit of a twist on. I'm hoping that if I do get another one, there'll still be enough bait down there. Oh, so just, there's a swirl down the edge. Oh, that's sound very good. See if I can catch one more here. Just keep them. They ain't going nowhere. They can stay where they are. So let's see if we can get another one there. I like to fish the pole between my legs, and I like to give a nice positive strike to set the hook. I reckon I've got about £130 in my net at the moment, going into the last hour. So hoping to make a magical £200, but we never know. My old mate Glyn, the governor, he's still wingling a few out. He just lost a couple. Yeah, the old git. All I can see is a reflection off his head. Blinding me, gives us sunglasses. It's not even sunny. He's waiting for the strike like Zorro. All for the quid. It's the only thing that's important is taking the quid off him. But from what I've heard, what he does with his quids, I'm not sure if I want it if I get it. Oh, he's just had another strike there and into thin air. Well done, Phil. Now the ripple's back on again now, which is good. So I'll still keep feeding with lines as normal. As I keep looking down the edge, keep chucking bait in. Not a lot, just a little bit to make a noise. Oh, there goes the landing net. The bites have not been super positive today, really. You know, been really sort of strange bites. We haven't had none of the classic lift up out of the water and bury. It's just been sort of like little dinks or slow pull unders. But I'm sure as soon as they start feeding confidently, that's when you start getting the proper bites, and they just become impossible to miss. One thing I have noticed, the fish I've been catching on this meat paste, I think they've been a slightly better stamp than what the old governor's been fishing with his normal paste. But oh, he's into another one again. But he has been seems to be getting a few more bites. But I think I'm getting a bigger stamp of fish, so it's very interesting to see how it's all going to pan out. And the size of each fish down the edge, last hour, you know, it's anybody's. I'm getting a couple of little signs here now. I've got to admit though, 3 hours or so into the match, and having used this pole for the first time, I got so very mightily impressed. It's as strong as anything. It really is strong. Although it says edge pole on the graphics, I'd have no hesitation using it on a short little snake lake where you're just fishing down the track. No problems whatsoever. Still no signs yet. Keep chucking that bit of corn in. Just waiting for them to come down this edge. Hopefully it won't be too long.
So we're going into the last half hour now, and finally I've started to catch a couple of fish over the emp line. I've just had two decent fish, but my mate Carl down on the end there is absolutely smashing it now. It must be, I think he's 40 or 50 pound in front of me now, so I think the match itself is over. But I have got a few fish now over my emp line, which is amazing why they've come over there so late. So I fed it all day, but unbelievable. I think they're big fish as well, decent fish. Don't know whether this one's foul. Look at the way it's running off. Good God. Look at that pole though. Absolutely superb. Down the other end of the lake, this. There it is. It's over in the next peg. Gotta be foul looked. Gotta be. Wow. I'm going to ship straight back to my top two. I don't like messing about with them too much. There we are. I'm happy now. So both Carl and myself now are starting to catch some fish. Did you just have that one down the edge then, Carl? What, that one? What, you lost it? Oh, unlucky, mate. Unlucky, buddy. Yeah, I was unlucky, mate. These fish are so big in here. Absolutely love this place. Good God, look at this thing going. Not a massive fish, I don't think, but it's a proper scrapper. Oh, I don't know. Not a small fish by any means. Oh, yeah. Fantastic. Good God almighty. That's got to be £13, I expect £14. Hardly fit that in the net. Right, let's get out and see if we can get another one. Like I say, there's a few fish there now. I've just had 3 on the trot out there over that, so I'm starting to get excited now. But I just think my mate up there is just too far in front of me for me to have much of a chance of catching him, to be fair. But we'll give it a go. Say, using the markers again on the pole, in and back, so I'm not pulling my paste off. A little indication then straight away. The bites, to be fair, have been good over this amp line. When I've had them, they've been proper paste bites. If I hook another one now quickly, I think I'll have I struck a bit too soon there, again too excited. Calm down, you numpty. My old mate's gone down his edge now, so he must have seen some swirls there. I've not seen anything down my edge, so I haven't even gone down there. There's enough fish out in front of me, I think, by there now. So I think I'll just stay there for the rest of the match now. There's not long left. Like I said, fair play to my old mate. He's fished a blinder today. Stuck with his meat. I didn't think I was going to work today. Not a chance in hell. Meat hasn't been working on you, but he's made it work. Guy's a machine. But whatever happens today, I think we'll have a return battle somewhere. For definite. Maybe I'll go down his neck of the woods next time. He's been having a bit of a go at me today because I asked him to come to Larford, but I'll maybe go down his neck of the woods and give it a go down there with him. He was also moaning earlier about the draw because I won the draw and I picked peg 18, but peg 16 is the peg I won off last week, so I don't know what he's moaning about. Been a pleasure fishing with him today though, to be fair. Watching the man in action. He's had some proper lumps. Trouble is now my head's in a bit of a spin because I'm coming up here on Sunday and I'm toying with the idea of fishing the meat paste myself now, but not fished it properly before. It's a bit of a hit and miss for me, really. I'll probably end up sticking to what I do, which is with this emp setup and with this paste. There's another little link on there. There's something down there now. Come on. I need to catch 3 fish and I need him not to catch, and I need to catch 3 big fish to have any chance. So I think he's 40 or 50 pound in front of me now. There we go. I'm not messing about with these fish. They're too big. I'd like to try and get back to my top 2 if I can. Break off, and then I just point the pole at them and let them do what they want to do, and bump about. And I look up, and I just as I think I'm making ground, I look up and there he is into one. Unbelievable. Every time I think I'm starting to get to him a little bit, he's got another one on. The man is a machine, fair play. And there he goes, another Barney rubble, another double in the net. Oh, that's a 15 pounder now. We were 6 pound earlier. You'll never go to heaven, you. And that is like plankton compared to that one he just caught. So there we are, going in now. I think there's about a quarter of an hour left, and I'll keep battling away. Come back in a bit and see the weigh-in.
Right, we're just into the last twilight of the match. It's probably about 10-15 minutes to go. I'm coming on my shorter line, which is top 2 and 2, which is about a foot shorter. And well, I've been fishing most of the day. Same thing, same old routine, and just managed to pick up a couple of fish. Got one on now. Pulling back a bit. Take my time with him. It could be close. The old governor, he keeps a bit quiet, so, and he has been catching steady. Oh, where's that going? Whoa! Come back. Keep your pole to the lowest water. It's a bit awkward because it's a little high today off the water due to lack of rainfall. It's made playing fish a little difficult. It will take me time to get him in. So, point your pole at the fish and they generally just swim into you. No need for lifting and trying to pull the lids off. Hey, the governor's back. Like I told you, it's going to be so tight. This is. I bet it's only. Oh, it's another little 4-pounder. There we go. Look. Oh, need a bigger boat. God, and we got a hoist. Whoa. That for a proper meat paste fish, that is. That's a proper beauty. That's got to be pushing, £15. Oh, it's a beautiful fish. Is that big? I can't. I'm struggling to get me hook out. Where is he? Come on, baby. There we go. Get this hook out. Get this out of the way. Oh, what a fantastic fish. A fantastic fishery. Go on, my old boy. Get in there. It's very shallow down here, so make sure my nets are out so you've got plenty of room to swim. There we go. I don't want nothing to happen to them. So let's see if this should repeat the process. I'll try a bigger bit of paste, just wet it up a bit. Big paste, big fish.
5 minutes.
Oh, that's a 5-minute call. So let's try and repeat the process. Chuck a bit of corn, make a bit of noise. As here in the governor's landed another great big growler. Still better looking than what he is. I shouldn't say that, it might not renew my contract next year. He's making some groaning noises. Come on, then, my beauty, one more. Come on, let's chuck the last bit of bait in, see if we can tempt them to have a go. Today I fed, I would say, not quite 2 pints of paste and probably just shy of 4 tins of corn for getting on for £180 of fish. And it's just this time of year is absolutely awesome. He's still playing around with that fish. Oh, little dink. Come on.
What a struggle.
Has it gone flat calm again? One thing that has been noticeable throughout this session today on this match, every time we've had a ripple on the water, or even been a slight one, it has improved the fishing and the bites. Oh, go on, go on, go on, go on. Hmm. Come on. Oh, the governor's in again. Oh, and it's gone. No one likes to see that. Unlucky, Glyn.
Thank you, mate. I think you meant that.
Always.
I got some fish out there now. Unbelievable.
Is it solid?
Pardon?
Is it solid out there?
Yeah, but I've made a mistake today.
Lessons learnt, mate. Lessons learnt. I'm very surprised why there's no fish come down the edge after I had to cut the signs earlier. Float's gone under. Oh, go on in.
One minute.
Oh, last minute. Oh, go on then. Someone's messing about with it. There it is. It's important not striking. Wait till you get a proper bite. That wasn't a typical pull under bite. It's pulling back a bit. Let's take, oh, Glyn's got one on again as well, so let's take my time with this one. It's all crucial. I can see him laughing. No, I won't lose it.
All out.
Fish on. Oh, the master's got his in. Play this one for the cameras. I want to swim into the pole. Oh, big common. Come on. There she is. What a great day's fishing.
Well, here we are at the end of the match. We've just had the weigh-in, and as I feared, my old mate has given me a bit of a battering. He's had some massive fish on that meat. Probably had about the same amount of fish, Carl, haven't we? You know,
I thought it was tight.
But my fish were a lot smaller than yours. Yours were probably averaging £5 more than mine a fish.
Yeah.
But it's been a great day. I mean, you weighed 215.
Yeah.
I've had 153.
Yeah.
So we haven't had a bad day's
No,
fishing. It's been a fantastic day.
Fantastic day's fishing.
And obviously the part that that breaks my heart is having to give you the old pound. Brought you to my venue, and you've given me a bit of a lesson. So well done, mate.
Thank you very much,
There's
sir.
your pound coin.
Yeah, I'm not going to kiss it.
You were a far superior angler on the day, and let that be a lesson to me.
Well
Well done,
I don't think it was the angling. I think it was just a bait.
Well, what a fantastic day, Carl. But there's been one thing that's been on my mind all day. Why do they actually call you Melonhead?
I ain't got a clue, Glyn.